Hello everybody, my name is Mars, you can call me MG if you'd like, and today I am going to be doing a little bit of a productivity experiment of sorts. So lately I have been feeling pretty unmotivated, kind of, restless with things. I feel like the weather has a lot to do with that. It has been so cold and snowy lately. I've also gone back to work, and that has kind of messed with me, especially because that has been a little bit up in the air because of the snow. If you didn't know, I am a manager at an ice cream shop, and we are open, but obviously if it snows, we're not going to be open that day. So like last weekend, we got some snow, and it ended up freezing over the parking lot, so we were closed for a few days. And then this upcoming weekend, we're getting more snow, so we'll probably be closed for a couple of days next week as well. It's just a little bit loosey-goosey and not very well planned, I think I can say. I'm someone who really likes a nice set schedule, and with this whole thing being like, we'll see in the morning if the lot is usable and if we can open, I've been feeling very like unmoored from my usual standards. But today I've decided that I am going to try and get back into the swing of things slowly, but also kind of all at once. So what I've decided is I am going to do 15 productivity sprints that are 15 minutes each. I feel like doing things for just a short amount of time, just 15 minutes at a time, will be nice and simple, but the fact that I'm doing 15 of these sprints means that I will be doing productivity for almost 4 hours, I think, if I've done the math right. And the way I'm going to decide what I will be doing with each sprint is with my little D8. I have come up with a list of 8 ways to be productive. Well, it's less than 8, but it's fine. It fits the D8. And I will roll the die for each sprint, and that will decide what I'm doing for each one. So I've got my little chart here that will tell me what I'm doing. So if I roll a 1, I'll be reading, a 2 is writing, 3 is YouTube prep work, 4 is cleaning, 5 is decluttering. I did debate putting cleaning and decluttering in one category, but they are really 2 separate things, and I definitely have plenty of cleaning and plenty of decluttering to do, so I did separate them out. 6 is journaling. Specifically, I need to set up my reading journal for February because that is coming upon us, and I gotta get that ready to go ahead of time so that when February starts and I start reading, I can just put things in immediately. 7, I originally had as exercise, but I have not been feeling my best lately. I think, again, it's the cold weather messing with me. If you didn't know this about me, I am physically disabled. I have chronic joint issues. Specifically, my left hip has been bothering me for a few days now, and I don't want to needlessly exacerbate that issue. So instead, 7 will be take a break, and I can kind of do whatever I want with that. I can watch YouTube videos, I can play Animal Crossing, whatever I want for those 15 minutes, because break time is also productive, in my opinion. You cannot be go, go, go all the time. You need to rest and let your body chill for a little bit. So if I roll a 7, I get a nice 15-minute break. Then number 8 is wild card. That means I can pick any one of the 6 first options that I want. So either reading, writing, YouTube prep, cleaning, decluttering, or journaling. I can't use the wild card as a break, but that's fine. I have no idea how this is going to go because I just kind of came up with this yesterday, made this little list. I have numbers 1 through 15 here so I can keep track of which sprints were which productivity items, so we're just going to do our best here. And I've decided I'm going to do these in groups of 3 so that I'm not constantly like doing something, coming back to film, doing something, coming back to film. I feel like that would be not super fun to watch, but also not super fun for me to edit. So I will roll my die 3 times, do the first 3 tasks, and then come back after the end of those 45-ish minutes, because obviously I might take time between these sprints, get a snack, refill my water, go to the bathroom, that sort of thing. So I am estimating each little section of 3 sprints will take somewhere between 50 to 60 minutes to do, and then I'll come back, chat about it, and then roll the next 3. And so we will do 5 sets of 3 sprints. Hopefully I have not over-explained things. Let's just get right into rolling to see how I will be productive first. Okay, friends, those 3 sprints went by so fast. It does not feel like it's been almost an hour since I last chatted with you, but it has been. But first, I rolled a 2, which is writing, and I have been not having a great time with editing Whimsy, my main project right now. It's not that I'm not enjoying it, I just can't get into it. I've been doing it for 10 minutes at a time, and that's just not great. I mean, right now I'm doing things for 15 minutes at a time, so it's whatever. But I just feel like I need to take an intentional step back from Whimsy right now and give myself a little bit of a break from it, and then I will feel refreshed and I can get back to those edits once I do feel better about it. So for this sprint, I was doing world building for my current Plot Bunny project, which I am calling Project Runaway. I have posted about it on Instagram, but I don't think I've talked about it on my channel yet. It is a romantasy, whereas Whimsy I consider fantasy romance. Project Runaway I consider romantasy because it is more romance in a fantasy world, whereas Whimsy is a fantasy book with a romance plot. I like that distinction. I know not everyone distinguishes between those two things, but it's just for me anyway. This is a standalone, I hope, and it's very fun so far. I was doing specifically geography work, naming some of the locations and figuring out I don't know what word it is. I think geographical might be correct, but I think there's something else where it's the landscape of it and what biome it is, the way the land is actually situated. So I think that is so fun. I did a little bit of Pinterest scrolling to add things to my project mood board to represent the physical setting. So that was a very good 15 minutes. Then I rolled a 5, which is decluttering, and I decided to do some digital decluttering, and I went through my emails, both my personal email and my author email. This is something that I have been putting off for literal years. There were unopened emails from 2021 in there, and the fact that I could clear out both inboxes in 15 minutes when I've been putting it off for years is just insane. I don't know how I got that bad, but my author email is now completely cleared out. My personal email, I did archive a few things that I just want to keep for personal reasons, and then I have 2 emails that I've left in my inbox just for the time being. I will be deleting them eventually, but I want them there as a little bit of a reminder. One has to do with tax stuff, and the other one is to remind me that I have a book to pick up at the library, which I will not be doing this weekend because of the big snowstorm we're supposed to be getting. But in a few days, once that has settled, I will pick up my book and then delete that email. So that was also a very successful sprint for me. And then finally, I rolled an 8, and that meant I could pick any of the first 6 options on the list because it was my wild card, and I decided to do some reading. I'm actually in the middle of 2 books right now. Let me actually grab it for you to show you. I am reading The Two Towers by J.R.R. Tolkien. I'm not very far. I'm halfway through the Treebeard chapter, but this I am reading physically and listening to the Andy Serkis audiobook at the same time, and I feel like I have just been getting very easily overstimulated while listening to things lately, so I was not kind of in the mood to do that right now. So instead, I was reading the ebook that I started yesterday when I had a little bit of downtime, and that is Beautiful Demons by Sarah Cannon. Both of these books are rereads, but I have definitely reread The Two Towers way more recently than Beautiful Demons. I feel like I read that when I was in high school, which was 10 plus years ago at this point, but it is very fast-paced, very fun. It's definitely a book that was published in like 2010 or like the early teens, so it definitely shows its age, but I'm still having a good time. And this way, I can finally continue on with the series because the 12th and final book is rumored to be coming out this year. I do follow Sarah Cannon on all social media platforms. I really love her content, and she's been talking about writing this 12th book for a while now, but it seems like this year might actually be the year, so I have some catching up to do. So yeah, it was a very fun 15-minute reading sprint. That means, though, I get to do my next 3 rolls, so let's get that done and see what I'll be doing for the next 3 sprints. Okay, friends, somehow another 3 sprints have passed. This is just flying by, and I kind of love it because I'm feeling so accomplished. I first rolled a 2, so I did more writing work. This time I focused specifically on my Pinterest board for Project Runaway. I just have some visual elements that I want to get down and like solidify. So I had a good time scrolling through Pinterest and organizing my Pinterest board. Lovely. Then I rolled a 3, which is YouTube prep, and I started scripting my reading wrap-up for January. Essentially, I'm doing them a little bit differently this year than I did last year. So this is my reading journal for the year, and I always do like little spreads for each book that I read. And last year, I would just go first book I read all the way to the last book that I read in the month and tell you about it. This year I'm structuring it a little bit differently, so I've just been going through the books that I read and kind of organizing my thoughts a little bit more and putting that into a document so that when I do film my wrap-up at the end of the month, it will be ready for me, and this way I can have all of the books that I've already read on there, and I would only have to add more books that I finish, and I won't have to do all of the scripting at once. So, great. Then I rolled a 1, which is reading, so I did read more Beautiful Demons, and I'm still having a very fun time with it. I think I'm going to take a break during this next time, so I'm gonna roll my dice, and if I roll a 7, then I will take my little snack break during that 15-minute chunk. If I don't, then before I get started on these next 3 sprints, I will take a minute to go get something to eat because I am getting a little bit hungry. So that is the plan. Let's just see what the dice have in store for me for the next 45 minutes. That was for sure the fastest 45 minutes yet, as you saw, I had another wild card roll up, and I decided to use that 15-minute sprint for reading, because after that I rolled another reading, so I did some calculations in my head, and I'm like, I bet I could finish reading Beautiful Demons in the next 30 minutes. And I did! I finished almost exactly as that second 15-minute sprint was ending, so great timing on that. I enjoyed this book. It was definitely a product of its time, very much a 2010s paranormal YA, which isn't my usual jam. I don't really love that genre, but it was still a fun time, and I'm glad that I read it, and I am excited to continue on. It ended off on a bit more of a cliffhanger than I expected, so I do own the first 3 books as ebooks, and I have owned them for like a decade now, so I very much am able to continue on with the series, and I might get to it sooner than I thought I would, because I am intrigued to see where it goes. But those were my first 2 sprints of that little set. The third one I rolled journaling, so I spent the 15 minutes doing my journal spread in my reading journal. It was actually kind of perfect the way the numbers turned out for that one, so I'm very glad. We only have 2 more sets left. We are past the halfway mark, and this is going by so fast it's almost a little bit scary, but also I'm getting some good work done, and I'm very happy about that. So let's just see what the next 3 numbers are and what the next 3 things I will be doing are. Alrighty, my friends, I am back with my next update. So the first number I rolled out of that little section was to do some YouTube prep work, and so I finished my script for my reading wrap-up up to Beautiful Demons, because I just finished that, so I could add that to the document, so that was pretty good. And then I had a couple more minutes left, so I sort of started scripting a tag video that you will see in February. By sort of started, I mean I just copied over the questions and formatted the document the way I like, and then the time was up. So I didn't actually start answering any of the questions, but there is now a document for me to fill out, so that is good. It's a start. After that, it was time to do some journaling, so I started to do my February reading journal setup, and actually I can show you the progress that I made. It's not a lot, because I spent quite a bit of time just picking out my supplies to use, but so far I have done this. So I have plenty of work to do, but I did make some progress in it. So that is that. And then I had to read some more. Lots of reading, which granted some of it is by choice because I've been rolling wild cards and choosing to use them to read. But also the dice have just been telling me to read on their own. So, or I guess the die, because I'm only using one. Anyway, I finished Beautiful Demons earlier, so I picked up The Two Towers, and I got through like 8 pages max while reading this, because it's just dense, so it takes a long time to get through, and I am enjoying it. The smell of this book, though, is very strong. It smells a lot like old books, which is a good smell, but I have a sensitive nose and scent-induced migraines, so I actually am getting a little bit of a headache reading this, so hopefully this last section does not have reading in it, but yeah, the time has come now for me to roll the die, the last few times, and we're gonna find out what I'm doing for my last 3 productivity sprints of the day. Crazy that we are already here, but you know what? I'm excited to see what's gonna happen. Okay, I apologize for this kind of terrible lighting, but it is now just about 6 p.m., so the sun has set, and it just looks awful with just natural lighting in here, but I can't really do anything about that. So, my last 3 sprints were pretty good, as were literally all of the sprints I did today. I don't think any of them were bad or like not fun. I genuinely enjoyed everything I did. So, first I rolled another wild card. Wow, crazy how that happened so many times, but I decided to do more journaling, so I did finish setting up my spreads for February in my reading journal, so now I am good to go once February starts up. Love that for me. Then I finally rolled a cleaning sprint. I hadn't had any of those the entire time, but I did get one, and I spent my 15 minutes sorting my laundry that was washed this morning. Didn't get it put away. I put away like a couple of items, but the majority of it is not away yet, but it's all sorted, so it should take me like max 10 minutes to put away once I finish up here, so not mad about that at all. And then finally, we got to end with a little bit more writing work. I decided to continue working on my brainstorming for Project Runaway. Specifically, I tried to find some songs for a playlist because I don't have a playlist for this project yet. So I kind of just went on Pinterest and searched Romantasy playlist and looked through songs that people put on playlists there. And I did add 2 songs to a playlist for this project. It is Witch Witch by Florence and the Machine, my favorite artist of all time. One of, but like she's always my top Spotify artist, so I think I could say she's my favorite. So very glad to have her on the playlist. I feel like she's on almost every single one of my project playlists. But then I also put Iron by Woodkid, which I had never heard of until I saw it on this playlist, and I'm like, let me check it out, and it's pretty cool. I like the vibes, so it's on the list for this project. And then that was it. I didn't get anything else done because it takes a little time to listen to songs and decide if they are the right vibe, so I didn't get through a ton in my 15-minute sprint, but I still feel like I am happy with the progress that I have made. So that brings us to the end of things. It has gone by so fast, but I feel like I've done such good work in so many different areas. I definitely would have gotten stuff done today if not for this challenge and the vlog to keep me accountable, but I don't think I would have gotten this much done, so it's been great. I kind of want to do more challenges like this in this year, like coming up, so let me know if you want to see me do this 15-15s again, or some other variation of it, or if you've got other challenges you'd like to see me try out. I am all ears. Check out the comments and let me know. But yeah, we've come to the end of this now, and I no longer have to be productive. I probably still will be. I do have laundry to put away, and I probably should also do dishes. That would have gotten done if I'd rolled another cleaning sprint, but alas, it's fine. Yeah, other than that, I am just going to take it easy for the rest of the evening and chill out. But I did have a great time filming this, and I really hope you had a great time watching. If you did, be sure to give the video a big thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel for more content, and that way I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, everyone!